Hi everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna dive into the full moon that's happening in the sign of Taurus on November the 5th. This is a full supermoon, so that means that from all the supermoons that we're having, this one is actually closest to Earth, so it's gonna have a lot of impact on us, and it's actually a very beautiful new moon, full moon. Mercury Retrograde is about to hit us as well. So welcome back. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and let me know how you guys are doing with this beautiful energy. Because Taurus is, of course, ruled by Venus. Venus is in its beautiful home sign of Libra. So when we look at the chart, it's actually a pretty positive influence. The only fact is that Venus is making a lot of tense aspects to almost all outer planets. So that is pretty interesting. And we're going to dive into that today. So let's start the presentation. So Taurus, it is the builder. Taurus creates structure and value in the material world. It's also called the stabilizer because it brings this calm and grounding energy and a lot of consistency amidst chaos. And Taurus can also be looked at as the sustainer because it always protects and nourishes what truly matters in the long term. So yeah, these three keywords, they really reflect Taurus's fixed earth essence. And that's practical power, unwavering endurance, and also tangible creation. So here we can see some keywords that belong to Taurus. And if we then look at the chart for this full moon, so this one is happening at 13 degrees. And so yeah, this is like the second in a series of 3 supermoons, the full moon in Taurus. So it's really going to amplify its influence on Earth and on the collective consciousness. It's actually going to appear larger and brighter than usual, so that's pretty cool. And it's also going to magnify and correlate with like these heightened emotional states, and that is always the case when we have a full moon. It really brings all of emotions to the surface. So the fact that Uranus is going to dip back into Taurus pretty soon after this full moon also indicates like a greater seismic sensitivity on both like geological, but also definitely on our psychological levels for sure. So Taurus, fixed Earths, it always deals with themes of stability and material security, nature, and also embodiment. So it's also about the body. We are actually invited to ground ourselves very deeply into our body and reconnect with the natural world. And we can use it as an anchor amidst all these very rapid collective change. The lunation also is like part of a larger energetic crescendo that is happening in the month of November, because November is truly marked with Uranus dipping back into the sign of Taurus at 29 critical degree, and also both Neptune and Uranus are actually at 29 degrees right now, within a couple of days after this full moon. So these are both critical and energetic degrees, very big threshold moments. They really symbolize the end of a big era and the start of a big one next year during the spring of 2026. So the most affected signs are, of course, if you have any planets or angles between 10 degrees and 16, 17 degrees of Taurus. And of course, also all the fixed signs, which are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. If that is you, then this is going to be a big one for you, and it's going to be truly felt. So yeah, this one really rings a bell because the entire month of November, the biggest key themes are actually the financial axis that's being implicated by both the full moon in Taurus and the new moon that we're going to see happening on November the 19th, and that is going to be in the sign of Scorpio. So big economic change with Mercury retrograde on top of all of that. We're going to see some major things getting highlighted and eliminated, and I think even scandals that are going to rise through the surface in regards to people in power and how they use our money or our tax dollars. So definitely can be a volatile time in the financial markets for the entirety of November, especially with Uranus at its 29 degrees starting from November the 7th or the 8th, depending on where you live in the world. So, of course, every full moon represents an opposition between the sun and the moon, between the conscious and the unconscious, between like our external action and internal needs. But this one is a bit more intense because, of course, the sun is in Scorpio, and that is gonna reflect the light back from the moon in Taurus. So, really, there's this tension between emotional security and transformational intensity. And of course, Taurus wants comfort and grounding and stability. Taurus is really about like all the beautiful things in life. It's about our possessions. It's about our self-worth. And one of the tips I can give you guys this month or for this full moon especially is do not let your worth depend on the amount of dollars that are in your bank account, because that can be a little bit of a downfall. We really need to like disconnect between measuring our worth by our money or our bank account. So let this be something that you can focus on during this month. Otherwise, that can throw you a little bit of balance, and we really need to make good use of this beautiful Taurus energy, because Taurus is, of course, about nature, about Mother Earth, about the finer things in life, because the ruler of this full moon is, of course, Venus, and Venus is in its home sign of Libra. So when you first look at this chart, actually a very beautiful and more positive new moon of the entire year of 2025. So yeah, Scorpio, of course, wants a lot of truth and depth and emotional rebirth. We need to actually find a balance between holding on and letting go. There's this axis between safety and stability and comfort. And then Scorpio asks for a lot of change and transformation. So the downside of Taurus is always stubbornness. So don't try to cling onto what's already served its purpose. It's best to transform whatever no longer aligns with our path right now. And hi, Katie, how are you doing? So in the sign of Taurus, we also like finances is going to be like the key theme for everyone right now. Also, we're mentioning that the moon here in Taurus is actually exalted, which means that it's very strong and clear and emotionally grounded as well. When a moon is exalted, it really likes to be in that sign. So that is very, very positive. And the fact that the ruler of this moon is also in its home sign, that is just like really, really beautiful energy. Taurus is very steady and sensual, and it's very deeply attuned to the rhythms of Mother Earth. So yeah, tune into your body. On the level of medical astrology, Taurus rules our neck and the vocal cords, but also our throat and the thyroid gland, So because Venus is, of course, squaring Jupiter, we need to be a little bit careful about over excess during this time. A lot of people are going to be impulsively spending money, are going to be overeating, overindulging, and that is something to be a little bit mindful for during this full moon. Because if we look at the degree theory, Taurus and the 13 degrees of Taurus, like 13 degrees and every sign is associated with Aries energy. So there's this fiery initiatory undertone to an otherwise very earthly lunation. 13 degrees brings a lot of urgency and action, and it can feel like a sudden, like I need to claim this in regards to possessions or finances, or I have to secure what's mine, and it's gonna like our instinct in regards to those Taurian themes are gonna be kicking in. So be very, very mindful of impulsive spending, emotional overreactions. Try to share whenever you have things to share. That can be positive way of tapping into this energy. And also don't rush into decisions about security, because Uranus is going to destabilize Taurus for its final time during the next few months up until April 2026. So Aries energy infused in this full moon can also bring a lot of boldness and really courage. And if you've been, if there's something that you've been building very slowly and consistently, then this full moon can actually bring a very big breakthrough moment in that. Taurus is, of course, also associated with natural wealth. It's also associated like with precious metals, with our soil, and also with crystals. So all the beautiful earthly things that Mother Earth provides us. So yeah, Taurus also, it like symbolizes the sacredness of the physical realm, and we all know that spiritual growth doesn't just happen in the heavens, but that actually happens through embodied experience, and that's why we have the sign of Taurus for that. So yeah, the qualities of the moon are particularly strong here. She likes to be here, and she's also capable of actually revealing where we've lost harmony with our own nature, and she's going to help us guide us back into balance. So let's look at the Sabian symbol for today, because that one is yet again a very beautiful, significant, it has a beautiful resonance with this full moon. So the Sabian symbol is on the beach, children play while shellfish grope at the edge of the water. So yeah, the image really speaks directly to the Taurus Scorpio axis that is activated by the full moon. Taurus is, of course, the beach and solid land, which represents our body and the material world, and also our physical senses. And then we can look at Scorpio, that resembles the ocean here in this symbol. It is about the psyche and vulnerability, and also emotional depth. So the moon here resembles like the opposition between these two worlds right now. And in the core of the symbol, we also see it shows us like the bridge in the two, in the two signs of Scorpio and Taurus, and that is actually here in this symbol, the shoreline. So Scorpio's emotional tides, we are being guided to like meet them without losing the touch and the reality of Taurus's grounding. So yeah, we see the meeting point of land and sea. So the meaning of conscious and unconscious, and stability and fluidity as well. So and then of course the children, there's this innocence in them. That's about playfulness as well, which also is very beautifully connected to the sign of Taurus. And yeah, the innocence of children blending very organically with like the primal life force, which is more connected to Scorpio, and we can look at it from the shellfishes, which are here in this symbol. So it's actually pointing us to return more to nature, to joy, and to the basics of what truly matters. And the full moon, it is not asking us to choose between safety and transformation. It is actually teaching us how to hold both in the same way, or in the same moment. So the shoreline is really the sacred meeting place where Taurus and Scorpio actually learn to coexist. So we can actually stay rooted in the body while also allowing emotional truth to rise to the surface right now. So yeah, stay grounded, stay present, and also be open to more of a discovery. That is actually how we create space for renewal that is not completely forced, because that is what Scorpio can actually do. But if we stay open, then it's gonna naturally emerge from within and create more stability in itself, which is resembled by Taurus, of course. So yeah, take some time to play and to have fun and to really tap into the beautiful resources that Mother Earth has to offer us. If we then go back to the full moon, before I dive deeper into the ruler of this full moon, also what I would like to mention is that during this full moon, we have a few asteroids that are actually connected to a funeral and to grief and to like someone very, very publicly known that can be passing away during this time. We have an asteroid that is connected to funerals, which is conjunct Venus, and we also have another one that is connected to grief and death and mourning, and that is actually conjunct the Sun in Scorpio. So my guess is that maybe someone is going to pass away with very prominent Scorpio signatures in their chart, or it can be a female that is very, very publicly known and very, very how do I say it? Very present in society or very prominent in society. It can be someone who is known for their beauty and known for wanting justice. Can also be someone who is a little bit more darker, that has a lot of Scorpio themes. Like I'm immediately thinking about Putin, who has a Scorpio rising. Can also be connected to the Middle East, which I'm going to get more into a bit later in this video. But definitely there can be someone publicly known that can pass away in the next 2 weeks of this full moon, which also like really, and I do not want to manifest that, but when we look at Candace Owens' chart, we see that she has a Sun and a Venus in Taurus, and she has Pluto at 15 degrees of Scorpio, if I remember correctly, which means she's very strongly implicated by this full moon. So let's all close our eyes and put like a protective energy field and a protective blanket over her, so she stays safe. But definitely a very, very prominent female figure is going to be strongly implicated by this full moon. So if we then talk about Venus, which is of course the ruler of this full moon, and that is actually something that really stood out to me. It's actually like Venus is sitting at 28 degrees of Libra during this full moon, and this is the exact same degree where we had the new moon in Libra on October the 21st, so 2 weeks ago. So we're seeing that there's here like a continuation of the story, and the seeds that were planted under the new moon in Libra, they are now really reaching a moment of illumination and culmination under this full moon in Taurus. So it's as if Venus is like standing in the same place of the new moon in Libra, looking at this yet again from the same degree and saying, what did you choose, and how did what you choose, how did it align with your love and with your beauty? Was it justiceful as well? And can it like really balance the past 2 weeks from the decisions that you made back then, and how that's fully blossoming or maybe already blooming into today's moment 2 weeks later? So Venus is of course both the ruler of Libra and Taurus, so it's like she holds the keys to both lunations. And Libra is of course about connection and relationship, harmony, fairness, justice, aesthetics as well. And then Taurus of course brings a lot of stability and embodiment and material security, by also experiencing pleasure through our 5 senses. So actually very positive influence on a personal level, but on a collective level, Venus is of course making hard aspects to Saturn, Neptune, Pluto and Chiron. So really highlighting where the boundaries and illusions and also a lot of old wounds are going to be triggered by this one. Venus is also going to square Pluto a few days after this lunation. It's already present here in the chart, but it's going to go exact a few days after. That can definitely bring some uncomfortable truths in love and money, and also in regards to our personal attachments and where we have given our power away. So Venus square Pluto transits are never fun, but they are very, very helpful if you can tap into the right energy, or like in the healthy way of this more difficult energy. Then you can really like reclaim your power or bring back some lost power that you have given away. So what are you giving away too easily, and what's fair in your eyes, and what do you truly value? A lot of people's values are going to shift under this lunation. Integrate what we value internally, and also look at that how you're going to manifest it materially, Taurus. So it's about bringing love and balance to earth, but like in a way that's down to earth. And 28 degrees of Libra, it's carrying a sense of like 28 degrees is a Cancer degree. So also look back at what you've planned to do during the new moon in Taurus that we saw 6 months ago. Something and that can see a very big turning point or like a culmination point in that. We're also seeing in the chart a very, very big water trine between Jupiter and Cancer, all the planets that are going through Scorpio right now, and it's also trining Saturn and Neptune here. So amidst all the tension of the last few months, this is like really more space for like taking a breath right now, because this is rare and also very beautiful. The fact that we have a grand water trine, a very flowing, natural, healing energy that is actually going to soften the harder edges of this time frame. So yeah, about emotional support and intuitive guidance, all of these things are are heightened right now, and it can also bring a lot of spiritual abundance. So if you do not immediately see a lot of fruition from your money, it can also be about spiritual abundance with this beautiful grand water trine. They really offer this kind of safety net during a more difficult moment, because Mercury retrograde is definitely going to stir the pot and throw us some curveballs in the next few weeks. But just knowing that we have this beautiful water trine to support us. And it's also like a reminder that abundance, it just not only comes from stuff, but it comes also from a lot of connection and self-care. Because yeah, at its core, the full moon in Taurus is actually about self-worth. Taurus really rules what we value and also how we value ourselves. And many of us will be breaking and facing a lot of toxic attachments with the sun in Scorpio on the other side of the wheel. Can also be a reckoning with like unhealthy spending habits or these outdated structures of security that are actually fading away. So yeah, let go of what's draining you. For others, it's going to be like reclaiming what you deserve. But either way, the emotional peak here is really an invitation to anchor into your body, into your breath, and really reflect on your inner worth. And abundance, it always starts with how you feel about yourself and not what's happening in your bank account right now. So let's go back. Uranus is going to go back. So Uranus is going to go back in time. For us, it's going to be the last final hit of Uranus in the sign of Taurus until April of next year. That can be a little bit of, the Taurus full moon is very beautiful, but we can feel like it's a deep breathe in, or like, breathing in before like a big seismic shift. And we feel that it's going to happen. On the surface, Taurus offers stability, but underneath there's a subtle trembling right now. This can be like a prelude to Uranus that is about to shift back on November the 7th. We can feel like we're standing in this familiar territory while we are sensing that something is about to change dramatically or like drastically in the next few months. We all crave safety and stability and clarity and comfort, but with the Mercury retro about to pop off as well, opposing Uranus several times, we're going to need to wait a little bit for more clarity. And Uranus is, of course, about awakening and liberation and disruption. And when it's going to re-enter Taurus, a sign that prefers stability over sudden change, it's going to create this psychological paradox. We actually long for the familiar and for our comfort zone, but yet underneath, something inside of us is actually refusing to remain asleep. So a lot of people are going to start to feel a little bit restless, and also this quite inner rebellion against anything that feels too fixed, which of course is Taurus, a fixed sign. So yeah, this is going to crack a lot of things open. Not because we've failed, but we've actually outgrown them. And Uranus is going to give us a lot of insights on the things we often resist at first, but it's actually our psyche mistakes it. It can mistake evolution for instability. Sometimes we need to go a little bit crazy for us to have like a very big breakthrough that is like normal. So because Taurus is resembling the body, Uranus is going to bring a lot of mental electricity, and Taurus really grounds it into the nervous system. So we need to be very, very careful about finding ways to really go into this heart coherence and to really pay attention to our breath. A lot of people are going to feel very heightened sensitivity a little bit of sleep disruptions, or maybe some instincts to like hold on tight, while actually we need to let it go. So do not resist, do not fight change. We all know Taurus doesn't like change, but Uranus shifting back into that sign is definitely gonna ask and force that. So also what's very, very powerful here is that there's an opposition of Mars and Uranus. So that is, yeah, very, very noteworthy here, because Mars in Sag, it pushes for freedom, for action. Uranus and Taurus is going to shake the ground beneath our feet, and the aspects between Mars and Uranus can stir a lot of trouble and chaos, especially since Pluto went into Aquarius, and Uranus is the planet of Aquarius. So Aquarius rules Uranus, but with Pluto and Aquarius, the Mars Uranus aspects have been causing a lot more trouble than usual, actually. So Mars is at 0 Sag and is going to oppose Uranus at 0 Gemini, and 0 degrees is a critical degree. It's this kind of gateway, and it's also a portal. But yeah, the Mars-Uranus cycles are way more extreme now with Pluto and Aquarius. And of course, Pluto deals with a lot of extremes and also with death. And unfortunately, we've seen a lot of political violence during Mars-Uranus aspects. If we look back at other transits of Mars and Uranus, we also see a returning theme of political violence. For example, Trump's assassination attempt in 2024 during the rally in Pennsylvania. Then we had a Mars square Uranus, and we also saw the start of the No Kings protest that also happened during Mars-Uranus transit. We saw explosions, we saw tensions exploding between Iran and Israel as well during these planetary connections. We also saw a lot of strikes and outages that also grounded a lot of flights and a lot of planes. So that is definitely also going to come up, and it's going to be a very big implication with the Mercury retrograde as well. So when we look at the Mars-Uranus that is about to come, that's about to happen on November the 4th, within 2 days, that is happening on election day, just before or on the election day for the US. So there's an astrological potential to see some chaos during the elections in the US for sure. Because Mars in Sag brings this fiery conviction and activism and strong opinions, and also the urge to fight for a belief or for some truth. So when it opposes Uranus and Gemini, it's going to like accelerate these ideological extremisms, also a bit of very radical opinions and a lot of sudden shifts in worldviews. And we're also going to definitely see that through the entire month of November. People are going to feel very compelled to push certain agendas, to protest even more, to also defend philosophies. And sometimes that can happen in quite disruptive ways. So definitely we're going to see a spike in debates around religion and global politics and the theme of freedom and censorship and the moral truth. Of course, with this coinciding together with Mercury retrograde, and the important thing that that I want to mention is last year during the fall, from November the 25th until December the 15th, we also saw a Mercury retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius. So that also coincided with the US presidential elections last year, but now it's conjunct Mars and it will oppose Uranus. So it will be way stronger than what we saw last year. Mercury Mars together can get very aggressive within speech, really stirs a lot of verbal conflict and can also stir some impulsive announcements, which you cannot take back anymore once you've said that. So that is something to look out for. So yeah, with the Mercury retrograde about to pop off as well, and with the full moon in Taurus here, currencies and financial systems are going to be the hot topics. We might also see some technology or cybersecurity breaches that can be causing an effect on the election results, but also on travel, of course. We can also see some disruptions in aviation or transportation, especially during November the 10th until the 20th. A lot of political revelations and data leaks, something in regards to old documents surfacing is definitely going to be a very big theme. So yeah, Uranus in Taurus at 29 degrees and Neptune in Pisces at 29 degrees can also really stir a lot of heightened seismic and water-related events like floodings, like volcanoes erupting, and also, unfortunately, I think we're going to see a pretty big earthquake, especially around the days that Uranus dips back into Taurus, but also around December the 10th when Neptune is going to station direct. Another thing I want to highlight during this full moon is the importance of this country. I'm not even going to say its name, otherwise the algorithm is going to like reframe my views here. But the full moon in Taurus is going to be exactly conjunct the north node of this country. So this is really marking a very big destiny activation point. When the full moon lands on a north node, we're looking at this activation point in a country's chart. And the north node is a gateway of destiny. Really, yeah, a moment where a nation is pulled into some kind of event that is going to shape its trajectory. It is also going to be in regards to their identity, because Uranus dipping back into the sign of Taurus, this chart has a Taurus sun. So the sun is, of course, about leadership. Uranus is going to create a lot of shakeups happening in that. Then, of course, the full moon in Taurus is happening in the 7th house for this country, chart of this country, and that is implicating open enemies. The 7th house are allies, but also open enemies. So, yeah, Uranus close by to the sun again. A lot of shocks that can actually alter the self-definition of the country, especially when all of these unfinished karmic lessons are going to return, as they always do during a re-entry of the planet in the same sign of the sun sign. So, and at the same time, Mars in Sag is opposing Uranus, adding a lot of volatility, a lot of pressure, and also, urgency to all of these shifts. And Mars brings a lot of confrontation and acceleration, and can really bring momentum and reactivate, being very reactive towards open enemies during this time. But more on that later. So interesting maybe to know is how to work with this energy. And also, before I switch over, we also see the Mercury retrograde that is conjunct Mars. Mercury retrograde will go back direct on 20 degrees of Scorpio, and that is almost exactly opposing the sun in this chart. So definitely some surprises in store for us in regards to money, in regards to finances, in regards to the identity being restructured. And the sun here opposing the moon, opposing the full moon, the sun is conjunct the south node, which means that there's some kind of leadership either from the past is going to pop up again, or some current leadership is going to fall away during the sun conjunct the south node. So yeah, definitely something from the past coming back up to bite them in the ass again, or something in regards to leadership that is going to fall away because Uranus is going to create some shocks in regards to leadership. So yeah, definitely interesting to keep an eye on this country for the next 2 weeks. So how to work with the energy? If we look at Taurus, of course, Taurus is an earth sign, so work with the element of earth. Grounding exercises are very, very welcome during this time. Cook a meal with your friends or family. You can garden, because this is, of course, a time of harvest. Be a little bit more barefoot, even though it can be a little bit cold during this time. Put your hands in the soil, plant some things. And also, just create some kind of space where the Uranian electricity can actually move through you, so you do not get stuck in your mind. Also powerful to do some release rituals where you can write down some patterns or fears, especially in connection to attachments that you've been clinging to, especially those that are related to safety and control and material security. Just like write them down and burn them, or you can bury them in the earth as well. The transformation. If you write down that, for example, I trust the ground beneath me to hold me as I can change, then this transforms resistance into more of a rooted resilience. Another factor is grounding meditations. You can do that by sitting outside barefoot, breathe very deeply, and you can also visualize financial and emotional fears really sinking into the earth. And that is going to be replaced by a new stability then. Of course, Taurus rules over crystals. So if you're not a crystal lover, or if you're not used of working with crystals, then this can really be a beautiful time to do that. And of course, emerald is the traditional birthstone of Taurus, and it symbolizes fertility and prosperity and also growth, and it's going to enhance and deepen your connection to nature. Then, of course, rose quartz, because that has a very Venusian softness to it. It's going to open the heart chakra and invite more love. And it's also beautiful for self-worth and emotional healing during this lunation. Then we also have citrine, and that is a stone of abundance. So perfect for aligning with Taurus earthy capacity to build and attract more abundance for you guys. So yeah, you can rinse them or like cleanse them under the full light, the full moonlight, and also yeah, you can charge them up in that way, or you can just like carry them in your pocket or in your bra, or you can meditate with them, or you can also, of course, put them on your altar. So yeah, not a time to fight change. Root yourself so deeply that the winds of Uranus are going to liberate you and not going to cause too much frustration. Taurus always teaches us that we need to trust the earth, trust the process, and also find strength in the stillness. So yeah, these things can really help you to anchor during these times. So yeah, with that being said, I can see some comments here. And Mike says I'm going to bring it up. I see that Mike is in a good mood today. He says, do remember the Cartesian house astrology that added the 13th sign not too long ago is bunk. So yeah, Mike, that is actually a pretty interesting conversation, because a very good friend of mine, she just before I started this video also pointed me to the 13th sign, which is like the snake bearer. I don't know if it's like translated correctly. In Dutch, we say the slangendrager. And yeah, there are, of course, multiple different zodiac signs. There are way more zodiac signs than the 12 signs that we use right now. So yeah, a lot of professional astrologers who are way better than me have looked into this, and they've all came to the same conclusion that the current system, like sign system that we're using, is actually the correct one. So, but thank you so much, Mike, for yeah, adding this positive energy to this positive full moon that we're having. So yeah, and hello, KK, thank you for joining. Okay, with that being said, we're gonna start the 12 rising signs. Where is it? Is it the next one? We need to remove this one. Yes. All right, here we go. So we're gonna start with Aries, sun, moon, or rising. So my dear Aries, This full supermoon is going to fall in your second house of money, resources, values, and of course the self-worth. It's going to shine a very big light on everything that's connected, how you sustain and support yourself. So a very big culmination moment. Think back to 6 months ago when the new moon in Taurus happened. Did you plant any new seeds in regard to your finances? Something may reach a peak during this time. So it's also about how safe and how rooted that you feel within yourself. Taurus energy here reminds us that true security, it's not about control, that's Scorpio, but it's actually about trust in your capacity to build and to also hold on to what actually truly matters. A few days later after this full moon, Uranus is going to dip back into your second house, and it's going to shake loose anything that is outdated in regards of your stability. So yeah, it can definitely be a bit of a surprise in regards to finances happening for you this month, my dear Aries. But yeah, if you've clung to like these old habits that are actually no longer supporting you, Uranus is going to like liberate you from that. There can be sudden shifts in your money sector and your income streams and your investments, and also material possessions, and the priority is on material possessions during this time. But also, Uranus is also going to liberate you from like this false sense of security. You need to be like a little bit unshakable in the next few months, and it might not be as easy every day. So be kind to yourself and give yourself some room to breathe when things get a little bit too overwhelming or too unshaky or too chaotic with Uranus back in your second house for the last time. Then of course the ruler of this full moon is Venus, and she's in your seventh house right now, but about to dip into the eighth. So very beautiful for relationships. Once it dips into the eighth, it's gonna square Pluto, and it's gonna add a lot of psychological depth to this moment. And it's about shared resources, trusts, and also power dynamics. And they are gonna be a little bit more heavily tested, so they can be transformed. So Venus here can also bring a lot of emotional intensity in the eighth, but it's actually to reclaim your value in a very intimate way, or in regards to financial entanglements. So anchor into your worth, and just know that when the ground shifts, you need to make sure that your value remains unshakable. And for this video, I've decided to get my deck. I'm gonna show it to you guys. It is the one from Rebecca Campbell. Can you see it? Yes, like this. So I'm gonna draw a card for each of the 12 signs today. I was like, Taurus is so beautiful, and it's about enjoying the beautiful things that life has to offer. So let's draw a card for extra confirmation. Oh my God, something just flipped out. So that's the one. It's Mother of the Salt Waters, passion, wild love, and also let love in. So that is actually such a beautiful confirmation for you. Is it going to sharpen? My light is too bright, but this is the one. What a beautiful confirmation with the fact that Venus is in your seventh house, about to go into the eighth, because Venus in the eighth is about passion. It is about wild love. So yeah, open your heart, even if it's a little bit scary right now. There can be such a deep intimacy that you can find that a little bit overwhelming. But this card says, let love in. And it's too bad I should have tested this, but you cannot read it, but I'm going to show it like this. And yeah, so focus on love, focus on the intensity, and let it into your heart. So good luck, my dear Aries. So then I need to switch it back. Yes, like this. The next one is Taurus, sun, moon, or rising. So how is it going, Taurus? It's of course your super moon. You are the star of today's show, and the moon is of course happening in your sign or in your first house. So it's about the renewal of identity, a very big culmination and embodiment, and also how you meet the world. So it's going to mirror reflecting your evolution that you've made for the last 6 months. So think back what happened 6 months ago. Did you plant any big seeds in regards to rebranding your identity or the way how you show up in the world? Something very big can be released in that, or something can be completed as well. So if you've been changing on the inside for years, and that is actually definitely the case with Uranus in you guys' sign, now the world is gonna really start to see it. It's like gonna be unmistakable to not recognize it. It's like not possible. So it's about the way you show up, the way how you claim your space, the way how you define me and I am in this is in a very, very big critical turning point. So Uranus is going to re-enter your first house a few days later, and it's really going to add a very big signature as like a surge of liberation. It can bring a little bit disruption, but it's actually to liberate you so you can fully embrace your authenticity. It's going to finish a very long journey through the sign of Taurus for the last 8 years. It's going to stay in your sign until April the 26th of 2026 next year. So it's going to be an energetic degree. Yeah, this is like the big final electrifying chapter that you guys are closing right now. And this is really like the kickoff of that. So a lot of you Tauruses are going to feel a little bit more restless. It can feel like the tectonic plates of your identity are actually trembling and shifting right now. You just know Uranus, it isn't here to break you down. It's here to free you from the versions that you actually kept yourself small with. So, of course, meanwhile, Venus is actually your chart ruler, and it's sitting in the 6th house very closely conjunct your descendant, so about to pop into the 7th house. So a very strong emphasis, because a full moon in your first, it's about who you're becoming. Then the ruler of this moon on your descendant, ready to go into the 7th, is about how you connect and how you relate to others. Then it's also, of course, squaring Pluto on your MC at the top of the chart, which is actually connected to your visibility and your career and also your direction. And then we also see it squaring Jupiter, that is almost conjunct your EC at the bottom of the chart, which resembles to a lot of happiness within your inner foundation, within the home, within your emotional roots as well. So the 4 key points here in the chart are triggered. So definitely a very important full moon, guys. You can let go of a lot of emotional intensity. So if you need to cry, just let it go. And Venus on the descendant, it's going to highlight relationships and partnerships. And while that squares Pluto, it's going to intensify some power dynamics in regards to your public visibility and also your purpose. And then the square to Jupiter from the EC is actually expanding the story even further. So your private life and also your sense of belonging are growing and shifting massively right now. So it can feel very exciting, but also a little bit overwhelming. Like, these are like all the corners of your life are like speaking, are like in dialogue with each other right now. It is about who am I, where am I going, who am I with, and also what home truly means to me. So yeah, it can feel like you're standing at a crossroad with your own evolution right now, but things are definitely moving. Your foundations are being redefined. Can actually be quite blessed with Jupiter in that area of your chart. Relationships are either being tested or deepened as well, and your whole identity is being rewritten. So yeah, no way back to the old you. That is like over and done with. The new chapter is brimming with a lot of possibility and potential, but only if you trust your inner selves during this time. So yeah, when every corner of your life lights up all at once, like we see here, yeah, it's not only chaos, it's actually destiny that is asking you to fully arrive within your own self and within your stability. And Linda says, hi Linda, my moon, well, the moon will conjunct natal Mercury and the second house. Oh, definitely. You can be way more emotional in regards to the contracts that you've signed in regards to money, but also in how you, yeah, maybe you want to set up a new stream of income during this time. And she also says, the last 8 years with Uranus, with my Sun, Moon, North Node, and Mercury has been intense to say the least. Wow, Linda, that is a lot to handle. Not gonna lie, whenever you have an outer planet constantly transiting over a stellium, I have a stellium in Pisces, and Saturn and Neptune have been doing that as well for me for the last few years. So yeah, this is like the final big shakeup before Uranus enters Gemini. You will feel such a big release by the end of April next year. So good luck. So a card for my dear Tauruses. The card that I get for Taurus is stagnant waters. So this is the stagnant waters, feeling stuck, a call for shifts, flow, and change. Like how crazy is that? So a call for shifts, flow, and change. That is actually incredible because yeah, Uranus is definitely gonna do that. So if you felt stagnant, if you felt like things are not moving as fast or as good for me in the last few months, then Uranus is definitely gonna make a big shift in the stagnant waters that you're feeling. So if you feel stuck, be open to flow and change. The Uranus is definitely gonna bring that for you guys. So good luck. We have Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What's up, Gemini? So this is a full supermoon that's going to illuminate the 12th house. That is the most private and spiritual corner of your entire chart. So it's about deep introspection and also release. All the things that have been hidden are going to rise back to the surface. So can be like this feeling or this nudge in your intuition. The 12th is also about the spiritual realm. You can get a lot of answers through synchronicities during this time. Slow a little bit down, withdraw from the noise, reconnect with your inner world. Yeah, when we have a full moon in the 12th, clarity comes in these little whispers, not through, do not go try to force the answers. Uranus, a few days later, is also going to dip back into your 12th. There are going to be a lot of unpredictable inner shifts. Uranus here, it feels like soul electricity is running through the depths of the soul. Very big intuitive awakenings. There can be sudden emotional releases. And also like this unmistakable sense that change is coming from the inside out. Can feel a little bit destabilizing if you resist it, but if you allow it, it can be very, very liberating. So the ruler of this lunation is Venus, and it's currently in your 5th house, about to switch over into the 6th house a few days later. So as soon as it goes into the 6th and the 12th is an axis that needs to be balanced out. It is about healing through integration, and also, yeah, balance out your physical daily routine while honoring your spiritual one. And you might need to focus a little bit more on the spiritual side of things, because if you're gonna be too busy, then you can have physical symptoms, and you cannot feel, there can be a sense of not feeling too well. Even though Venus in the 6th can definitely be some kind of protection. Also be careful about overindulgence or overeating. If you need to withdraw because you don't feel too well with the full moon in the 12th, then female colleagues can also help you to decrease the workload in that, because you have been busting your ass off with Mars Mars that went through the 6th for the past month, that can really point to burnout. The fact that Mars is going to enter the 7th can give a little bit more verbal conflict with partners or business partners. So yeah, just take some time to unwind if you feel that you need to. So the card that I'm getting for you, my dear Gemini, is the water carrier. Oh my God, this also resonates so beautifully with what I've said. So this is the water carrier. Too bad that my highlight like flashes it out. I'm gonna need to like find a solution for that. But like the water carrier says, look at what really matters, reflect and reprioritize. That is like what I've just said about the 12th and the 6th house. So that is a beautiful confirmation to maybe withdraw a little bit more and to really reflect on what needs your priorities in your daily routine right now. So if you need to retreat a little bit more, sleep a little bit more, then just do that. You're getting this like cosmic permission slip to rest a little bit more during this time. Mars is out of the 6th. Thank God for that. So good luck, my dear Gemini. So then we have Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What's up, my dear Cancers? And hi, Amy. So, my dear Cancer, this full supermoon is going to illuminate your 11th house. In the 11th house, we found our communities, our friendships, our like-minded people, our goals and aspirations, futuristic plans as well. So, yeah, a very big culmination point or clarity around the people and communities that actually surround you. Yeah, there can be an emotional thing happening in your friend group. Your emotions can be more connected to your belonging. Maybe you're going to realize where you've like outgrown a certain social cycle or a collective goal. The full moon in the 11th is going to bring a lot of new awareness about your place in the collective or in the wider world. If you want to release something on social media, whenever you have things going on in the 11th, that can cause a lot of traction if you were to blog or podcast or share anything within your community. So Uranus is also going to dip back into your 11th a few days later, and it's going to really stir this area of the chart with its liberating and disruptive force. So over the last several years, 7-8 to be exact, Uranus has been reshaping your vision for the future. And its final return is going to really signal a last wave of big awakening around your friendships and your allies and the shared dreams that you have within the collective. So a lot of unexpected shifts can happen within your social landscape, not to destabilize you, but to actually free you from identities in regards to the collective that no longer resonate. This is actually about finding your true people. Venus is the ruler of this lunation, and it's currently moving through the 4th, about to pop into the 5th. When Venus is going to enter the 5th, definitely make some more time to go have fun with your friends for sure. The 5th is about self-expression, also romance and creativity. You might actually, maybe a friend introduces you to someone that you find very attractive. That can also happen because the 5th is about dating. It's also about children. And it's also, creativity is also found in the 5th. So let your creative juices flow and really connect with people who stimulate that and who get out the best of you, and people where you can like fully express yourself and your authentic way of being. So yeah, this is gonna be a highlight on staying true to your personal joy while you take in your space and in regards to belonging in the collective area of your life as well, the 11th and the 5th. So how you operate, so like stay yourself while operating under group pressure. That is what this full moon is also saying to you. So when you stand in your joy and the right people and the visions regarding those will naturally be attracted to you. So keep that in mind. So the card that I'm getting for you, dear Cancer, today, that is Metamorphosis. Embrace transformation. Things are different now. So yeah, there's a very big transformation happening within your social circle, particularly because you are expressing yourself in a way more authentic way. So embrace the metamorphosis. Good luck, my dear Cancer. Yes, exactly, Amy. It's about our soul tribe. So, I didn't know it was your rising just in time. Well, that is divine timing, Amy. That's perfect. Okay, the next sign we have Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. So, what's up, my dear fellow fire signs? How are you guys doing, my dear Leos? You're gonna have a full moon happening in the 10th, and that is also about your career, your public image. It's about your life direction, social status as well. And this is a full super moon, so there's a big culmination point in your visibility and also within your career trajectory. So yeah, big turning point in your public path. Taurus here, it reminds you that you need to anchor into what's real, into what's solid and sustainable for your future, not just what looks shiny from the outside. So a few days later, Uranus is also going to dip back into your 10th house. It's going to bring its final wave of awakening and disruption into your professional world or onto your path. Definitely, if you're self-employed, there can be some restructural, unexpected changes, maybe some difficulties with technology that can happen. Definitely with the Mercury retrograde about to pop off. So keep that in mind. But Uranus here, it has definitely been reshaping how you define success and purpose. The return to the energetic 29 degree can bring a new opportunity in regards to your career, a change in leadership within yourself, but also a change within leadership in regards to your boss. That can also happen. It can also be a shift in your ambitions. Old career identities, you're going to be liberated from Uranus by that. The ruler of this full moon is Venus, and it's currently going through your 3rd house, about to shift into the 4th. Venus conjunct EC is definitely a lot of positive love can be found within the home, within your siblings, with the mother as well. Finding comfort in your emotions because Mars has just been going through the 4th for like the entire month. So that definitely caused maybe some more frustration inside of the home or with the female that you live with together. And I need to smile a little bit because my boyfriend is a Leo. And yeah, I've been a little bit of a pain in the ass, definitely the last month. So I'm just like very glad for him that Mars is about to shift out of the 4th house. And I'm like, I know he's listening and he's probably smiling as I say this. So Venus in the 4th, beautiful for family relationships. Full moon in the 10th can also be about balancing out the things you need to do at your job while actually rather remaining at home and enjoying the comfort at your home. So if your boss is like a little bit nagging or a little bit frustrated, just know that you can like get under a blanket and find a lot of love at home. So the card that I'm getting for you, my dear Leos, is making waves. Momentum is building. It's your time. Achievement, it says. So the 10th house is about achievement. When things happen at the top of the chart, there is a big momentum building always. So yeah, it's your time making waves. Definitely can be a very, very big breakthrough in your career department happening. So if you get a new offer or someone can also in a leadership position can really help you make a breakthrough in your career. So grab it with both hands if that lands into your lap. So good luck, my dear Leo. We have Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. So this full moon is going to light up your ninth house. And that is about religion, philosophy, your truth, your belief system. It's also about like higher learning, higher wisdom, long distance travel, and also your look and vision on the future. So really a moment of, awakening and expansion and how we see or look at the truth. Also, it's about our worldview, and something might be starting to crystallize around your personal philosophy. Maybe you're going to shed a worldview that you've outgrown. The ninth is, it often brings clarity through distance as well. So you can see your life from like a higher vantage point, definitely while you're traveling. Maybe you're coming back from a trip. Maybe you're letting go of wanting to book a trip with the Mercury Retro right now. Maybe you're currently on an adventure and you're about to go home again. But it can also coincide with like events that are about studying or publishing something. It's also perfect for spiritual exploration. And just know that a few days later, Uranus is going to dip back into the ninth. So it's going to bring its final big surge of revolutionary energy to your beliefs and to you, how you look at the world. Uranus has been shaking up this part for the last few years, and its return to the energetic degree is really going to mark a final chapter of awakening in that. So you can have sudden insights, and these sudden insights can actually destabilize your inner truth, and maybe you're gonna need to like make a pivot or a change in your view and your belief system. It can also be like a moment where you really realize that you can't keep living by this old narrative and something needs to be shed in that. So Uranus, of course, it wants to liberate your mind, open you up to new pathways of freedom. And the meanwhile, Venus is the ruler of this full moon, is actually currently in your second house of finances. So a lot of Virgo risings are gonna make some costs in regards to traveling. Can also be about investing into a new type of study. Venus is about to pop over into the third house pretty soon after this lunation. So definitely there can be a lot of love and beauty found in studying or like reading a new book in which you really, really enjoy. Also very perfect to like publish something with the full moon in the ninth, and Venus in the third is really enhancing your sweet and loving communication. Mars has been going through the third for the last month, so definitely stirred up a lot of frustration inside of the conscious mind. Maybe you were a little bit more angry and you couldn't like really figure out why Mars in the third in the sign of Scorpio can be also quite conflict prone, also accident prone, being too hasty on the road. That has passed now, and now Venus is gonna dip into the third and it's gonna like soothe and calm things down, which is like a very, very welcoming change, to say the least. So the card that I get for you, my dear Virgos, is also Metamorphosis. Oh, that is like, I'm picking the same one as for Cancer, if I remember. So Cancer and Virgo have Metamorphosis, embrace transformation, things are different now. And if we look at the chart, transformation is mostly found in the 8th house, and Saturn and Neptune have been going through the 8th for like a sneak peek for the Virgo risings, but it's like going back into the 7th to wrap all of the things up in regards to relationships before a fully new transformation and metamorphosis is about to happen. Now, of course, we had all the planets going through the third, which also definitely brought a metamorphosis within your conscious mind and the way you speak and talk. And now it's going to get transformed into a way more loving and sweet version of how you express your words during this month. So good luck, my dear Virgo. We have Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. How is it going, Libra? There is a full super moon happening on November the 5th, and that is going to land into your 8th house. So the 8 is about intimacy, psychology. It's the house of Scorpio. It's about depth, trust, deep psychological truth. So yeah, when we have a full supermoon in the 8, it's gonna definitely be very potent and very intense in shining a light on what's been hidden beneath the surface. It's about financial entanglements, emotional, deep soul bonds. It's also about power dynamics, and also fears that you've maybe held too long. They're going to raise to awareness in order for you to purge them and let them go. And that is going to be going very naturally and very smoothly during this time, because we have actually a very positive full moon happening here. So there are, of course, going to be turning points in how you share your energy with others, emotionally, financially, sexually, energetically. And also know that Uranus is going to dip back into that house a few days later, and it's going to stir this deep terrain with a little bit of unpredictability, and it's teaching you to hold trust and hold power in a healthy way. This is like the final big liberation moment for you guys. So you can also have big breakthroughs around finances, but however, be a little bit careful, because I saw it happening in other people's charts. Whenever Uranus dips into the 8, if you have planets in Taurus, then you need to be a little bit careful for losing money, because Uranus can be very, very destabilizing. So if you have been gaining on your investments, it might be smart to take a little bit out, but don't go too wild overboard with shared resources. Definitely not during the last final stretch of Uranus in that sign. So Venus is the ruler of this lunation, and also, of course, your chart ruler. It's been going through your sign for the past month, but now it's preparing itself to dip into your second house of finances. So very strong placement. It's about building real, tangible, stable results in regards of your finances. There can be by increasing your wealth or your income. There can be an increase in self-worth as well. Don't tie these two too much together, and know that you're worthy without all the dollars in your bank account. But definitely Venus in the second is very, very positive for increasing your income during this time. So yeah, reclaim the power within finances. Very big financial full moon for you, and I think it's going to be a very, very good news for a lot of Libras, of course, depending on your own natal chart, of course. But when you trust your own word, then you stop settling for these half versions of love, power, and security. I think you're gonna go in for the full version that you deserve. So the card that I'm getting for you, my dear Libra, this is unreal, guys. Who is looking for who's watching all the entire signs that I've just went through? I'm picking metamorphosis again. So probably also has something to do with me. The fact that I'm picking from this card deck metamorphosis 3 times in a row is actually quite rare. So metamorphosis, embrace transformation. Things are now different. You Libras are definitely going to see a very, very big transformation happening in the financial axis of your chart, and on investments that you've made, maybe together with a partner or with a business partner. Some very, very big breakthrough can be happening with Uranus dipping back into the 8 as well, and Venus in the second. Maybe go buy a lottery ticket. Of course, it's not anything to do with the 5th or with the sign of Leo, which resembles gambling, but still with Venus in your second house, there can be an increase, or gifts and financial things that are very, very overflowing and abundant. So yeah, good luck, my dear Libra. We have Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising. You're gonna have a full supermoon in the sign of Taurus in your opposite sign, and that's gonna happen in the 7th house of partnerships and marriage and very close one-on-one connections. The 7th is about our significant other, can also be about a very close friend. So it illuminates the mirror of your life, the full moon here. It's about the people standing across from you. Can be romantic, can be professional, but definitely someone is going to reflect something back to you that is going to be very vital and very important for you to know. Full moons in the 7th can bring a big relationship turning point. For some, it's going to be clarity. For others, it can end up in a culmination. There's definitely going to be a shift in how you bond with other people. Think about balance, equality, mutual growth. All of these things are going to be center stage here. A few days later, Uranus is going to dip back into the 7th as well, and it's going to bring this final wave of shakeups and awakenings to your relationship sector. So if you've been married for a very long time, or let's say for the past 8 years or 7 years, like there could be like a change. There can be a sudden attraction happening. There can also be a sudden breakup, depending if Uranus makes harsh or positive aspects to your own natal planets. But definitely for the last 8 years, Uranus has transformed the way how you relate, and it's been pushing you towards more authentic, freedom-based connections. So can bring sudden realizations, unexpected shifts in dynamics, and also a lot of breakthroughs in how you give and receive. It's about how your identity gets reflected back from your partnerships, and it's not about chaos. It's clearing away all the relational scripts that no longer fit your evolving identity. Mars has been going through your sign for the last month, so definitely you've been a little bit more. If you've been a little bit more frustrated, you know why. That's because of Mars that's been going through your sign. And of course, we also have Venus, which is the ruler of this lunation, is currently in the 12th house. But if you're an early degree Scorpio rising, Venus is going to conjunct your rising already now or pretty soon. So the fact that Mars has shifted out of your sign and Venus is about to enter, it's going to make you way more loving and sweet and yeah. Venus in Scorpio is, of course, very deep in love. It's not about superficial connections, but that was never the case for you, my dear Scorpio. So yeah, with Mars entering the 2nd, be careful about impulsive spending during this time. Maybe you're gonna want to like rebrand yourself and your identity with Venus in the 1st. You can like buy beautiful new black clothes, but Mars in the 2nd really warns for overspending, especially with the opposition to Uranus in the 8th, about to go back into the 7th. Don't be too impulsive or risky with your finances during this time, because you will have a Mercury retrograde that is going to start from the 2nd back into your sign. So if you buy something big, make sure you have the correct warranty, make sure you have the receipts. Maybe you're going to need to bring something back, or maybe something might not be working perfectly as well. That could definitely be the case for you during the Mercury retrograde, so be a bit mindful about that. Venus, of course, about to enter your sign. That is, really gonna increase your magnetism and your self-confidence, and of course it's about attraction and beauty and self-worth. There's gonna be a big emphasis on that for you for the next month. So the card that I'm getting for you, my dear Scorpio, if I'm gonna take Metamorphosis again, I'm like definitely gonna be scared. Okay, so the card that I'm getting, the ripple effect. It says part of something bigger, details are taken care of. So yeah, part of something bigger, the ripple effect. Like definitely with Uranus, been planting all these seeds of liberation into your 7th house for the last 7 years. Now I think with the final big hit in your 7th house, Uranus is really gonna create a very big ripple effect in how you connect with other people. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was like this new sudden attraction that comes forward in your life, or you tap into this feeling of wanting to have more freedom in your current relation. That could also be the thing. So be mindful about that, but also know the ripple effect with Mars, and like it is Scorpio season. So everything you do right now, of course, is causing major ripples. And now with Venus entering your sign, you can like bear the fruits, and like things can really blossom right now. So the details are taken care of. You're on the right track. So good luck, my dear Scorpio. We have Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're gonna have a full super moon that is gonna happen in your 6th house. That is, of course, about work, health, routines, your daily responsibilities, your co-workers, your pets. Moment of clarity and culmination around how your everyday life is structured. Maybe you're reaching a breaking point with a routine that no longer fits you, that is maybe causing you too much stress. Perhaps a new sense of flow is emerging beautifully and creating more stability. But this is always, in the 6th, it is always a body-mind check-in. Because yeah, with the Sun in the 12th, preparing to start Sag season next month, but this is always like the time we need to like prepare ourselves a little bit to take on more take on more daily responsibilities, because Mars is also switching over into the sign of Sag in your sign from November the 4th. So definitely going to be an increase in your current energy levels. It's about your habits, how you care for your physical self in the middle of a busy day. Don't overdo it with Mars in your sign soon, because the 6th can also be the house of stress. So maybe if you have too much stress in your daily routine, it would be very wise to go work out in the gym with Mars in your sign. And that can be like an energy release in the too much stress in the sector of your 6th house right now. So, of course, Uranus is also going to dip back into the 6th. So definitely that's why you need to like really calm down the nervous system. There can be so many busy tasks, so many unexpected pivots and change and reschedulings happening within the 6th. It can also be a different way of working, or maybe an embodied realization that something has to be done differently in the realms of your daily routine. And Uranus here is going to help you to liberate through all these new rhythms for the last final time. The ruler of this lunation is, of course, Venus, and it's in your 11th, ready to pop into the 12th house. So definitely Venus in the 12th can really give a lot of beauty and charm and protection to hidden enemies. Because the 6th definitely is the house of like bad luck. That is just what it is. I have a stellium in the 6th house. I know all about bad luck. Venus in entering the 12th is actually very, very beautiful for maybe find love, or like the 12th is a very deeply private, introspective, and spiritual zone of the chart. So it's gonna soften the tone to what might otherwise feel like a very practical and busy full moon. Venus here is emphasizing rest and reflection and a bit more of surrender. So instead of pushing harder, you may feel a little bit drawn to take a step back, reconnect with the inner world, connect with your spirit guides. Can also put an emphasis on secret longings with Venus in the 12th. Maybe you have some longings that cannot become public. Can also about old wounds in love, or in money, or in self-worth that need to be dealt with. This relation is going to reveal the gap between what your soul craves and also how your life is structured, and if that's balanced out correctly. If something has felt a little bit draining or misaligned, then the full moon and also Uranus are going to bring the courage to finally change it. And then Venus in the 12th is going to remember you that it's safe to rest and to nest, And it's also safe to not have all the answers yet. You need to just trust the quiet stillness within. So when you make space for stillness, life is reorganizing itself around what truly matters. And that needs to be the key takeaway. But with Mars in your sign, definitely going to feel an increase and maybe in desire and drive and physical intensity. So make sure that it's all balanced out correctly. So the card that I'm getting for you, my dear Sagittarius, it is the Sirens. Oh, that's actually very beautiful, because the Sirens, they say use your voice, and it's about expansion and freedom. That is like your sign. So this is actually very, very beautiful. If you then look, the fact that there's expansion and freedom is about that there's use your voice is here, while Mercury is about to retrograde in your sign. So with Mars, it gives you the fiery, convictive energy to really like use your voice. Just make sure you don't start a fight, but definitely it's gonna. If you speak up right now, it is about wanting to have more freedom, and it's gonna ultimately lead to expansion. So yeah, very beautiful. Yeah, very beautiful card for my dear Sagittarius. So good luck. We have Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. The full supermoon is going to light up your fifth house. The fifth is, of course, the realm of joy and romance, creativity, also playfulness, and it's about your children and how you express yourself. So yeah, this lunation, it wants you to reconnect with pleasure and feeling alive and doing the things that make your heart sing. A new or a full moon in the fifth are like the most positive moons of the entire year. So yeah, really enjoy this lunation. Everything that's felt too heavy or too structured needs to go right now. Not forever, just for like a short while. You need to reconnect with your inner child during this time. Your creative output, maybe romance is highlighted. Can also be about personal passion projects that can reach some kind of culmination point right now. Ground yourself in joy. And something that is real and tangible, not just like the fleeting, beautiful moments in life, which are definitely gonna come up for you, my dear Capricorn, but more in a way of living that supports your heart in a true and gender way. A few days later, Uranus is also gonna dip back into the fifth, really starting up this area one last time before it moves out next year during April of 2026. So Uranus, for the past 8 years, it has been shaking and awakening your creative and romantic area of your chart. It's been pushing you to take more risks, to express yourself more freely, but Uranus has been having a very big destabilizing factor in that area of your chart. So everything that has to do with children or romance or creative projects might have been surrounded by a very, very volatile energy. So yeah, this is going to break you away from like all the old scripts of what joy should look like. The last return to the energetic critical degree of Taurus is going to bring sudden bursts of inspiration. It can also be about unexpected romantic developments. It can also be like about an inner breakthrough where you finally claim your right to feel alive again. And you should do that, because in the meanwhile, Venus, which is the ruler of this lunation, is currently in the 10th of your career and visibility, but it's about to pop in to the 11th house. It's going to switch over into the 11th. And the 11th, of course, is going to highlight community, friendship, networks, and your future vision. So this is actually a beautiful placement that's going to bring more support and connection and also harmony through your like-minded people. The 11th is your soul tribe. So think about friends and allies that you're going to bump into at the exact right time, and you can have a lot of fun with them, especially with the full moon in your 5th house. So make some times to just like catch a breath. Maybe there's been some drama going on in your friend group for the last month with Mars conjuncting Mercury, and it's been going through your 11th for the last month. So definitely maybe some frustration within groups of people that you connect with or within community. Right now, also be a bit mindful because you're going to have a Mercury retrograde back into the 11th. So maybe with Mars in the 11th, you've cut and severed some kind of tie with a friend or close ally because it was maybe a little bit too intense and too toxic with Black Moon Lilith there as well. Well, don't be afraid because a full moon in the 11th and in the 5th really creates an opportunity to have a lot of fun. And Mercury retrograde back into the 11th, you're gonna bump into so much people from the past. People that you maybe need to still work something out with, or maybe people that you're gonna have a very good time with. So yeah, don't be scared if there was some kind of misagreement with your friendships. You're gonna bump into the right people again in order for you to have more fun, or maybe bump into people from the past where you can still fully express yourself with in a better way. So the card that I'm getting for you, my dear Capricorn, that is Clear Waters. It is clear vision, confirmation, right timing, opportunity. So if you look at the chart, confirmations are definitely gonna be coming with the Mercury retrograde that starts from the 12th back into the 11th. You're gonna have a clear X-ray vision on who's good for you in the friendship area of your chart. And whenever Mercury goes back direct on 20 degrees of Scorpio by December, by the 29th of November, then you're going to get a lot of confirmation and maybe a new opportunity and people. You're going to bump into people at the right exact time whenever you need to meet them. So a lot of opportunity within friendships and having fun, and also in creativity. So yes, just go for it, my dear Capricorn. We have Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. So you're going to have a full supermoon that is going to fall in your 4th house. That is the foundation of your chart. So the 4th is about very deep emotions, about the home family, your mother, your ancestral line, very big, deep inner emotional world. That is the 4th. So a very deeply personal and grounding lunation, and it's really going to illuminate what anchors and supports you within the family system. So there might be some heightened emotions around your living situation, around who you live with together, some family patterns that are going to pop back up in order to be dealt with. Can also be about the need for safety, and also it's about your belonging. So full moons in the 4th, they bring big turning points, but within your private life. And that also, that always like ripples outward into everything else. A few days later, Uranus, your chart ruler, is on the move and it's going to dip back into your 4th house again. So really, really important for my Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Uranus back into the 4th. Oh, it's been shaking your foundational territory for the last 7 years, and it's going to do it once more now. So it's been slowly but surely, unmistakably, been liberating you from all these old family patterns. You're going to clear out outdated definitions of your home. All these inherited ancestral curses or emotional scripts that you've been given by your ancestors. If there needs to be some kind of, there's going to be some kind of shakeup in that. Uranus is going to be at a critical degree. It's going to bring these unexpected shifts within your home life, and can also bring a lot of emotional clarity, but it's going to be stronger for you than for any other sign, because Uranus is, of course, your ruler. And just know that it's meant to free you, and also it's meant to free you more from the roots that you grew up with. And you can now, grow stronger in this new emotional soil. Like the 4th house is like the basis of the chart. Venus, the ruler of this lunation, is in your 10th. in your ninth, about to hit into the 10th. So it's conjunct your MC. It's at the top of the chart, very, very visible. So you can receive a lot of love by making a big announcement. People in authority figure can really, really help you during this time. Your boss can be a little bit sweeter because the past month he's probably been a little bit of a pain in the ass with Mars going through your 10th for the past month. Mars is moving out into the 11th, can bring a little bit more conflictive energy surrounding your soul tribe. Maybe people are going to really speak out or be very, very convinced of their opinion, especially with Mercury and the 11th about to go retrograde back into the 10th. Yeah, there can definitely be some feisty energy going on in the friend group right now, where the past month that was found in the career area of your chart. Now Venus is going to soften its influence whenever it dips into the 10th house. So Venus at the top, it always enhances your public presence, your reputation, your professional visibility as well. This is like a little dance between like your private foundation at home and your public expression, actually between where you come from and where you're going. So Venus and the 10th can also bring some kind of recognition, support from people in authority positions, and it can also bring new opportunities in your career and public image. Maybe some new career opportunity makes you move with the moon in the 4th. Something changing about your home situation can be because of a new job. That can definitely happen. And by signing a new contract, because Mercury is about to go retrograde in the 10th. So wait about signing new contracts whenever Mercury retrograde is over on November the 29th. Then that will be a good time to maybe shift things, but don't do it too impulsively. Definitely not with Mars in Sag. Be sure to check everything out before you make an impulsive decision. With the moon in the 4th and Venus in the 10th can be like a little bit of a tug of war between your inner world at home and all these outer responsibilities that you need to commit yourself to. You need to be focused on building a life where both can coexist harmoniously with one another. And you can make that work right now. So, yeah, just know that your light shines brightest when it's grounded in something real, and strengthen your roots so your branches can rise higher than ever before. I think that is very applicable here with the moon in the 4th and Venus in the 10th. So, my dear Aquarius, the card that I'm getting for you is She Who Flows. So that is very beautiful. It says ease, being open to change and go with the flow of life. So being open to change. As an Aquarius, you're ruled by Uranus. That is about change. But go with the flow of life. That is definitely surrendering to the greater emotional current that is about to happen with Uranus dipping back into the 4th. So if there are unpredictable or a little bit of volatile energy happening in your 4th house, just surrender to it. Uranus is actually liberating you, even though it can definitely cause a little bit of emotional havoc. Just be open to change and tap into the easiness and stop fighting it. So good luck, my dear Aquarius. Then, last but not least, we're having Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. How is it going, my dear Pisces? You're going to have a full supermoon that is going to fall in your 3rd house on November the 5th. It is a realm of communication and learning and your local environment. It's also about your siblings, how you process information. This can really bring a very big moment of clarity. You can pick up on an important conversation, or someone just bluntly tells you something that you need to know, and that is going to cause new insights. You can receive a message that's quite important. You can read something in the news and piece some things together, because the 3rd is also about your conscious mind. It's about how you speak, think, how you express yourself, communication in general. It's also about technological devices and being on the road. So yeah, this one is going to highlight the gap between what's said and what's felt. and you need to bridge it right now somehow. So Taurus energy is always adding some weight and substance to your words. So just know that your words are carrying immense power right now. There can be definitely a very emotional conversation happening for you, my dear Pisces. A few days later, Uranus is also going to retrograde back into your third house and is going to shake up this area one last time with its like final flash of mental and communicative liberation. So it's been doing that for the past several years, 7 to 8, almost 8 next year. So yeah, Uranus has radically, because that is the word of Uranus, radical change. It radically changed how you learn, speak, and share your ideas. Uranus is going to be on critical degree, so going to bring a lot of sudden breakthroughs, new perspective within your conscious mind, and also unexpected encounters or maybe journeys. Definitely go on the road trip. You can have immense insights when you do that, but be a little bit careful with your car and your electronic devices, which Uranus in the third, that can like shake up things a little bit. But Uranus in the third, it pushes you to think differently, think outside of the box. Trust your intuitive intelligence that goes beyond logic sometimes, mostly. So the ruler of this full moon is Venus, and Venus is in your 8th, ready to go into your 9th house. So the 9th is of course about travel, higher education, your belief system, your spiritual expansion, where it will be for the upcoming month. Venus here is like going to open the doors to the mind and heart, gonna spark some curiosity and connection with the wider world, and also about your view on the world. Venus here can bring a lot of developments which are going to be harmonious in regards or related to studying, or international matters, or even spiritual matters. The 9th is about religion and the house of the Buddha as well. So it's definitely going to help you to broaden your world view. But this is actually also a reminder that your words, which are in the 3rd house, are actually shaped by your beliefs in the 9th, and this lunation is actually realigning you and that axis together. So yeah, old thought patterns that have limited your freedom are going to be let go of. Uranus is going to shatter the ceilings from that of the, and Venus in the 9th is going to like offer a new horizon. It can be very, very, if you travel during this time, that can help. Just be a little bit mindful with Mercury retrograde. But it's definitely about thinking bigger, speaking your truth, and also letting your voice really reflect and show your evolving philosophy. So, my dear Pisces, your voice is going to become very powerful when it flows from a vision that is bigger than any fear that is surrounding your words. So just let the words flow. So, my dear Pisces, the card that I'm getting for you. The Well Maidens. So the Well Maidens is about kindness, respect, reverence, and compassion. Like, how beautiful is that? Like, Pisces is the sign of compassion, and definitely with all the planetary energy that is back into Pisces right now. We see Saturn, Neptune, and the North Node all back in Pisces. We see it trining Jupiter in Cancer. We also see it trining all the planets that have been going through Scorpio for the last month, and Venus that is also about to come, and Mercury retrograde is going to make another grand water trine. So yeah, very beautiful energy. So really tap into the grand water trine, my dear Pisces. You're going to receive a lot of kindness, definitely from rewiring your beliefs. The 9th is rewiring your beliefs. Jupiter in the 5th is about self-expression and expanding in that. And then it makes the 2 houses make a beautiful trine to your sign. So that's like a whole rebranding and a whole new identity that is coming forth of that. And people are really gonna respect that. So good luck, my dear Pisces. So that was it for today. Full moon in Taurus, it's gonna linger and it's very beautiful, this energy. So let this energy wrap around you some kind of blanket that is like gentle and warm, and it's about comfort and enjoying good food and spending quality time with the people you love, and also reconnect to the earth that is holding you and all of us and connects all of us as well. Cheers to all the beauty, cheers to all the love that we share with one another. We're all gonna feel it, like infuse or like let the beautiful Taurus energy into your breath, into your steps, let it guide your heartbeat during this time. And also know that the Taurus full moon, that it doesn't rush. Taurus is chill, it's relaxed, it takes time to root and to bloom. So I would advise each and every one of you to do that in the next 2 weeks. So I all wish you a very, very beautiful day, and I will see you back soon. Bye bye.